All right, so what we are going to be doing today is we are going to be graphing with horizontal asymptotes. So yesterday we went over vertical asymptotes. We set the denominator equal to 0 and we find our vertical asymptotes that way. So what we're going to be doing is focusing specifically on horizontal asymptotes. So we know for a fact that we can find a horizontal asymptote with whatever k is. So like what we did in notes 812. This is our k, so that is our horizontal asymptote. But that is only when our equation looks like this, when we have a specific k. What happens when we have different types of other situations and other kinds of equations and functions? So let's go over a little cool rule that we can use so we can really quickly find out what our horizontal asymptote is. So there are three. It's Betsy, Bobo, and Bo2. These are going to be your three new best friends, so get to know them really, really well. So for Betsy, it means bottom equals top. It's going to be the coefficient. Bottom equals bottom. No, sorry, bigger on bottom is going to be a 0, that's Bobo. And Bo2 is bigger on top is undefined. So when I am talking about bottom and top and all that jazz, I am talking about the degree of your polynomial. So the degree is what power of x does it have? Does it have 2? Does it have 5? Does it not have a power? Stuff like that. That is what I'm talking about. So let's take a look at the very first example. What is Betsy? Bottom equals top, it is the coefficient. So let's take a look at the leading variable, which is the very first variable we have. So in this case, it's going to be the 2x and the x. So both of them have a degree of 1. So they're equal, right? Bottom equals top. So that means our horizontal asymptote is going to be the coefficients. So coefficients are the numbers in front of the x. So, I need a refill. Okay, so so in our case, our coefficients are 2 over 1. Right, because there's an invisible 1 here in front of the x. So, 2. Our answer is 2 because 2 divided by 1. Very obvious, it is 2. So that means my horizontal asymptote for this equation is y equals 2. Cool. Let's move on to Bobo. Bigger on bottom, it's going to be a 0. So let's just kind of separate it. So our leading variable on the numerator on top, there is none, but we're going to write that 3. There's no x on top, right? And in the bottom, in the denominator, we have x squared. So the degree for the numerator is 0. We don't have an x, so it's like putting x to the 0 power. And then in the leading variable, right here in the denominator, we have 2. So right here, we can clearly see, hey, this 2 is bigger than the 0. This degree is bigger than this degree. So this is where we're going to say, hey, bigger on bottom, that means it is going to be 0. So our horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. And then the last kind of example is Bo2, bigger on top. That means it is undefined. So let's take a look at our leading variables. So in the numerator on top, we have x squared, and in the numerator in the bottom, we have x. So we can see which degree is bigger. The numerator one, the top one, right? Because 2 is bigger than 1. So when this happens, our answer is going to be undefined. So that means our horizontal asymptote is going to be y equals undefined. You could write y equals undefined Either one is fine, but usually it's easier to just write the undefined symbol. And that is it. So for your assignment, I want you to do all of numbers 1 through 12. I want you to just do the horizontal asymptotes. Don't do the domain or vertical asymptotes. Just write down what my horizontal is. And 13, 14, 16, and 17. So that is it. All right.